All right, we are opening this thing up just a minute early. I'm going to give some time for everybody to join us and open up the chat and see who's in here with us. So this one's going to be a good one today. Whether you have a Facebook business page or you don't have a Facebook business page, the advice and strategies that I'm going to talk about in this webinar are going to help you no matter what. So it's going to be a fun one. So I see that people are starting to trickle in. Hello, hello, everyone. I hope that you are enjoying your, what day is it today? Is Wednesday. I'm kidding. I knew what day it was. But I would love to know where each and every one of you are from. So before we get started, it would be super awesome if everyone would just take a moment to put in the chat area. If you're on a phone, you probably just have to hit it. Tap your phone and you'll see a couple of dots and you can click chat. If you're on a desktop or laptop, then your Zoom looks just like mine. And if you hover on the screen, you'll see a chat area. Put what city, state you're in, what real estate brokerage you're with, because I want to know who's in here with me. Now we do run this webinar style, so I unfortunately can't see your beautiful faces, but I do still want to know who's in here. So we have Florida, New York City, Long Island, we got some Queens in the house, eXp Realty in the house. Come on, what brokerages are you from? Awesome, Coldwell Banker, Long Island, Adams Real Estate in Babylon, Brooklyn Keller Williams in the house. I love it. Windzone, Daniel Gale Sotheby's. Love it, love it. Lots of Long Island in the house. Okay, good, good. Awesome. Okay. So we're going to cover a lot. We're going to dive right in. So first things first, let me just introduce myself. Because, you know, for some of you, you might not know who exactly I am. So my name is Amanda Bojorquez. I'm a real estate agent in Queens, New York, but I am also the co-founder of Design for Realtors, which is the sponsor of this free training. So these free trainings are not possible without Design for Realtors and all the support that real estate agents provide the business through your orders and just attending these webinars. So first, thank you for taking the time to actually sit here with me on this Wednesday and learn everything here, right? Because it's not just time out of my day, it's time out of your day too, and I don't take that lightly. So thank you for sharing it with us today. Now, before I was ever a real estate agent, before I ever co-founded an e-commerce business, before I was ever on a team or with eXp Realty or any of that, I was a photographer and a graphic designer, and I built websites for brands, and I had a hand in marketing and online advertising, and I did a whole lot of things for a whole decade that actually were amazing prerequisites for being a real estate agent. I was a marketer before I was a real estate agent. I just had to learn the sales part, right? The actual person-to-person sales. So I took all of that knowledge from my prior 10-year career and I applied it to all things real estate, and it changed the game for us. It really leveled up the team that I was on, like our branding, our social media presence, our advertising from Facebook ads to YouTube pre-roll ads, Instagram ads. Just it was a fun ride, and it still is. We're still doing it. So I've found a passion to teach. I enjoy this. I enjoy being here with you. I enjoy putting everything out there. So without further ado, let's jump into Facebook business page strategies for success. All right, so we're going to cover a number of different things today, from understanding Facebook's MO, because at the end of the day, Facebook is free, but it is a business and they want to profit, okay? We're gonna go over some rules, mistakes to avoid. We're gonna go over what exactly it is you're trying to accomplish with your Facebook page, right? And we're also going to cover a few intricate tips and tricks that you can use in order to make sure that your Facebook business page is doing more work for you while you're sleeping than you could have ever dreamed of, right? So of course, this is sponsored by Design for Realtors. We have lots of other trainings available, whether they're happening live within the coming days and weeks or replays at designforrealtors.com. So if you're interested in other trainings like how to run a Facebook ad, how to set up an e-blast, etc., you can go ahead and head over to Design for Realtors and check those out as well after this webinar. So let's go over Facebook's MO, right? Their MO is attention, right? Because the thing that with Facebook is they make money from advertising, right? So this idea of, oh, I'm a business owner and I make posts on Facebook, but no one ever sees them, no one engages with them, and I feel like I have to pay to play, right? Have you heard that phrase before, pay to play? Put in the comments, yes, if you have heard the phrase before, or if you feel like you have to pay to play, like you need to pay for advertising in order to actually get some traction from social media. Now, while there's some truth to that phrase, there's also the fact that there's ways around it. And the way around it is to understand the algorithm, right? And the algorithm is this big wizard boss thing that no one truly understands, and it's constantly changing. But there are some basic principles that will never change about the algorithm. And that is that Facebook's MO is attention. Okay. So the more attention they garner, the longer that they can keep someone on the platform, the more advertising dollars they're going to get from business owners who are paying to play, right? Whether it be small business owners like some of us in this very Zoom room, or larger companies and brands who are spending millions, if not more, per month on Facebook advertising. Right, so keep that in mind when you're coming up and the gears are grinding about what's my actual social media content marketing strategy, right? Facebook wants attention. Facebook wants to keep people on the platform. So how can we help Facebook do that? And in exchange, we get more business, right? We get to generate clients. We get to build relationships with our audience in a way that's going to lead to more closings, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. So on top of what it is that Facebook's MO is, right? We understand that now. We get it. Facebook doesn't want us to drive traffic away from Facebook. It wants us to keep people in the platform. We want to keep in mind a few key things, mistakes to avoid when it comes to marketing on social channels. Now, this specific webinar is about the Facebook business page, but what I'm breaking down right here in terms of mistakes, it goes across the board, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be, even LinkedIn. You want to avoid overselling. You want to avoid having too many links. So what does that mean? If your Facebook business page looks like every single post is, want to see homes for sale, click here. Want to see homes for sale, click here. This is what I just sold. Want to see homes like this, click here, right? If it's just nothing but links and nothing but you selling, nothing but you talking about what you've accomplished as a real estate agent in terms of properties, you're doing it all wrong. That's a mistake, right? We want to correct that mistake. We want to put you in a position where you're going to be able to generate business and build relationships and get people to fall in love with you as a business owner and as a member of the community that they're in, that you want to help them buy into, right? Buyers and sellers. So another thing is that you want to not care about the numbers, right? A big mistake is caring about the numbers. I oftentimes get messages from real estate agents who will ask me, oh, well, if I had 10,000 followers or 5,000 likes on my Facebook, things would be different. I would generate more leads. And that's actually far from true. You can do a lot with simply 100 likes on your Facebook business page, with 50. You can do a lot with very small numbers, because it's not about how many people like the page. It's about how many people are engaging with the page, how many people are actually clicking through on your CTAs, which we'll talk about later. That's the part that matters, the actual conversions, right? Because what good is 5,000, 10,000 people to you if only a fraction of them are seeing your content, and even a smaller fraction of them, if any, are actually interacting with it, right? So do me a favor. I want to know that we're on the same page right now in terms of these mistakes. Can you put inside of the chat, yes, that you understand this and that we can move forward in this webinar, because these are really, really important. Awesome. I'm seeing some yeses. Thank you for participating. I appreciate it. So another thing, which is kind of a given, but I'm going to put it here anyway. I'm not telling anyone in this webinar how to live your life. Obviously, we all have our own ideas and things like that about politics and stuff. But, you definitely want to keep certain things to yourself. So be smart about this. Anything that maybe perhaps you wouldn't want like your grandma to see, or might cause a debate between you and a potential seller based on political views, et cetera, that type of stuff, you want to keep it to your personal section. You don't want to put that on your Facebook business page. So if it just even seems an inkling inappropriate, Try to stray away from that. And I put that in there lightly. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, awesome. Everybody's saying yes. So perfect. We're all on the same page. Now, another thing is falling into the rabbit hole. How many of us have actually gone into our business Facebook page, assuming that we all have one? Timeout. Does everyone here have a Facebook business page? I'd like to know that. Yes? Okay, good. All right. Oh, we do have some no's. Okay, that's okay. So if you, whether you do or don't have a Facebook business page, we're getting a couple of no's in here, a few no's actually. So if you don't have a Facebook business page, you're gonna want to wait till the end here. I promise there's no upsell. I'm not selling you any like courses or anything like that, but you're gonna want to stay to the end because I have something really fun that you can do that will just allow you to hit the ground running with your Facebook business page if you're just starting out. So awesome. Someone said that's why I'm here. Okay, great. I love that you're learning about it before you actually take the dive. Cool. So what we were talking about before is, you want to avoid falling down the rabbit hole. So some of us might have actually gone into Facebook and our intention was to wind up doing some type of post or content or interacting as far as our Facebook business page, but we fall down the Facebook content rabbit hole in terms of like you start scrolling in the news feed, right? So you want to avoid that mistake. Treat social media like it's a business tool. If you're spending an awful lot of time on it, doing more personal things than business, I understand we have friends and family and stuff like that, but I'm talking about like cat videos, right? You wanna focus on the business aspect. So those are just some quick like prerequisite mistakes to avoid. So let's jump into the nitty gritty, right? What strategies can we use to actually be successful in our Facebook business page, right? Now, I'm a big believer of the 80-20 content principle, but this changes, right? And I teach that in other classes. But in this particular class, I'm talking about the 70-20-10 rule. And the 70-20-10 rule pertains specifically, at least for me through experience, particularly for Facebook business pages. And that is because of the nature of the Facebook platform and the nature of the business page. So what you want to do is make sure that 70% of your content, right, the things that you post, the photos, videos, the words that you write, 70% of it is original content. Original content being that you created it. It's videos of you, it's photos of you, just all you, all your business, right? Stuff that you're doing. 20% of it, you're going to want to make sure is curated content. I mean, yeah, curated content, right? So you're going to want to go out and find things like quotes that you can repost or articles from like the Wall Street Journal that you might want to share that are relevant to your real estate business, right? Anything that has to do with current events or community events going on in the areas that you farm in as a real estate agent, right? So 70% is content that you created, 20% is curated, which means you took it from somewhere else, you pulled it together, and then 10% is products and services, right? Remember how we talked about in the beginning, a mistake you want to avoid is overselling, right? So only 10% is products and services, which begs the question like, well, wait a second, how am I supposed to generate leads from my Facebook business page if only 10% of the time I'm actually posting about, hey, go to my website, hey, look for properties on my website, etc., book an appointment with me. And that's the thing, the 70 and 20%, those are the pieces that build rapport with your audience. Just like in an actual face-to-face meeting, when you have a potential buyer or seller, you don't go for the close right away, right? Depending who's your real estate coach, you might, I don't know, some people teach different things, right? But for the most part across the board, you don't go for the close right away. There's some type of rapport that needs to be built. You need to make this person that you're meeting with feel comfortable, trust you, believe in what it is that they're picking up what you're putting down, right? So with that being said, right, when you do go for the close, in terms of what the close was of the conversation, right? The close was like 10% of the conversation. And maybe you tried a few times. So same rules apply. You're just switching it up. You're making it digital, right? So a pro tip, right? Because you might be thinking like, oh, 70-20-10 rule, like now I got to find content from other people to post. Now I got to make content like for myself which is majority of it, and only 10% can, oh, this is too much work, right? And the truth is, it's a lot of work, but it's not too much work. And it's very simple to actually streamline the process, right? Different training for a different day. We will touch on it a little bit here, but a pro tip is to use publishing tools. Now, for free, Facebook actually offers business owners within the Facebook business page area, right? You would just hit publishing tools in the settings area, right? So if you have a Facebook page right now, or you're gonna make one later, go to the settings when you're on your Facebook page, click settings, hit publishing tools, right? You're gonna be able to schedule posts. They will post automatically. No apps necessary, no upgrading to paid services to post for you in the future, right? Automatically. You can do this directly from your Facebook business page. And this will save you a lot of time. For example, myself, I will schedule an entire month worth of content for Facebook because it's automatic, right? It just goes out. People comment on it, people click on the links, people interact with it. Stress-free, right? I spent one day, possibly an hour max, right? It doesn't even take me an hour anymore. It takes me less than that. I actually did it today for 30 minutes. It took me 30 minutes to create 1 month worth of posts. And you know what those posts were? They were recycled posts from Instagram. Super easy, right? You can do this. You can do this. So that's just a tip when it comes to actually, you know, laying everything out for your Facebook business page, right? Just let it do it itself, right? You just go in every now and then, tweak things and interact with people, etc. Right? So let's talk about the actual content, because one thing that a lot of real estate agents struggle, because like you could know everything about everything when it comes to strategies, but and people will take lots of classes and webinars and seminars and listen to gurus and watch IGTVs on it and Facebook Lives on it. But there's always that one question of like, okay, but what do I post? I get it that I'm supposed to post something. I get it that, you know, it's supposed to be this type of stuff, but what do I actually post? And a really awesome rule of thumb is to just recycle these 6 things, literally day after day. Just, you could go through them like smooth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then again, recycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm not saying recycle the same exact posts every day of every week, right? But the general themes, right? You can come up with a social media content marketing strategy that really works for you, and you can mix and match things just from these 6 things, right? So what are they? Ask a question. A very simple post on a Facebook business page is to ask a question. No photo needed, no long caption needed. A simple question. It would take you all of maybe 5 seconds to do it on your phone even, where you just pose a question to your audience, right? Maybe with what's going on right now, right? It's a very unique time in history. Maybe on your Facebook business page, you post, anyone have any guesses as to what's going to happen with the real estate market after this is all over, right? That's an option. Some people who like your Facebook business page might have some 2 cents about that. And it's slightly like borderline controversial, but not inappropriate, right? It can create a conversation in the comments. Something simple like, you know, what area does anyone think is hot, right? Like obviously you know the answer, you're a real estate agent, right? You get paid to know these things. But you can ask your audience this question to see what they think so that you can have a conversation with them. Behind the scenes is very, very easy. Right now, you are probably taking all types of educational classes online, right? And it would take all of 5 seconds to just take a photo. There's Jeffy meowing. It would take all of 5 seconds to take a photo of what it is you got going on here in Zoom, right? And post the fact that while you're at home, you're not only still running your business, not only still managing family and making time for things that just, it's a different time right now, but that you're taking time to make sure that you stay up to date and work in your business, right? You're taking time to learn. And that's something that's behind the scenes that you can share, right? Now, education, very easy. Like, I mean, you know a lot of stuff, and even if you don't, you can come up with something, right? Or even just find articles that educate people on stuff, or write blog posts. Testimonials, that's easy. Like the moment you have a first deal, if you get some Zillow reviews, right? If you work on a team, you can use the reviews of others, right? Just, you know, you got to word that properly so you don't get in trouble. You're not taking credit for things that maybe you didn't do. Inspiration, right? That's a really easy one. That could be part of the 20%. Remember, we talked about curated content, right? And then community. This could be you posting about events that are happening in the area, right? For a lot of us, we focus in certain areas. You're not a real estate agent for all of America, right? You focus on a specific state, city, maybe even a town or a couple of towns, right? So there are events going on, and those events typically have websites or event pages. You could promote those, right? Don't pay to promote them, but you can push them and say, hey, this is happening, right? And suddenly people are looking to you to get neighborhood news, right? So those simple 6 things are really great when it comes to trying to figure out what it is to actually post. So just rotate that, right? And then if you're actually using what we talked about before, where you use the publishing tools, right? Not only are you rotating them, you know what to post, but it's posting it for you, right? All you have to do is go in and engage later, right? So this is doable. It's totally doable. So let me see. Do we have a question here? So, question. Behind the scenes would be 70%, testimonials 10%, and inspo community 20%. Yes, absolutely. So the testimonials actually kind of like they double dip into the all 3 categories, if you will. So you definitely have options in terms of where each one fits, but you're on the money. Behind the scenes could totally be part of the 70%, 100%, right? The testimonials falls into the 10% bracket, and inspiration and community type posts definitely falls into the 20%. Education could fall into the 20% too, but it could also be the 70%. It depends who's giving the education, right? If you're making an educational video of yourself talking about real estate topics, that falls into the 70%. But if you pull a video from somewhere else that's educational, or an article from someone else that's educational, then that falls into the 20%, right? So Alana asks, how should my posts on Facebook differ from LinkedIn and Instagram? So that's a great question, and it's actually a very common question. A lot of people struggle with this. So rule number 1, don't push your Instagram posts to Facebook or your Facebook posts to Instagram, and don't, rule number 1.5, don't post the same thing on the same exact day at the same exact time across every platform. And I know for a lot of people, it's really frustrating to hear that, because it's kind of like, well, this is becoming too much work, right? And it's not that it's too much work, it's just a little bit extra. And the reason that you want to do this is because you want to win on these platforms. You want attention on these platforms. And for a lot of us, whoever you have on Instagram, you probably have some of those same people on Facebook, and possibly even LinkedIn, although LinkedIn's like a whole other ballgame. Right? You might not have as many in common on LinkedIn, but especially Instagram and Facebook in particular, you want to avoid same exact post, same exact time, same exact day on both platforms, because whoever's seeing your post first on Instagram is not going to engage with it the same way that they did on Instagram on Facebook. And if Facebook serves that post to them same day, same time, right, different platform, Facebook's going to see, okay, this person didn't engage with it. This post on Facebook is not worth showing to other people. Right? Because that's one thing we have to understand about the algorithm, is that Facebook will take a small percentage of your audience and show them the content that you put out there. And if that small percentage of your audience doesn't engage with that piece of content in a positive way, right? It doesn't keep their attention, they don't like it, they don't comment or any of that, right? Possibly because they saw it on another platform already, right? You lost, right? Facebook says, okay, this piece of content's no good, I'm not going to show it to more people, right? But if the small percentage that Facebook shows of that one piece of content, like shows it to that small percentage of people, and they do engage with it, now Facebook says, okay, we need to show this post to more of the audience and people outside of the audience, because this is a piece of content that's keeping attention, right? So I hope that made sense for everyone. So Alana says, my followers are different on both. So if your followers are completely different on both, then you have a little more wiggle room in terms of getting away with the posting same day, same time. It becomes problematic when you share audiences on the same platform, right? And just an easy fix is to just stagger the content, really. Like whatever you posted on Instagram on Monday, post it on Wednesday on Facebook instead, right? It's one extra step, but in my personal opinion, through experience, it's worth it. But it's really up to you, right? At the end of the day, you are the marketer who's making the decisions. So with a Facebook business page, you have the option to have, similar to Instagram, a link in your bio, right? Except it's not in your bio, it's physically like on your page underneath the large banner photo on your business page, right? So there's a button there that you can implement. And that button it's just one button, right? You've got to figure out what you want to use that button for. Now, you could link the button to a website that has multiple other buttons, for example, something like Linktree, of course, right? But with Facebook, you might want to have like an end goal in mind, like something in particular that you want to do, right? So you have to think about it. Am I a real estate agent who has a YouTube channel that I'm trying to grow, where I teach people in my farm area about buying and selling real estate and how I can help them, right? Maybe you want that button to link to a video so that it takes them to the YouTube channel where you introduce yourself and they get education, right? Maybe that button links to you, a newsletter that you have, right? A drip campaign that you have set up that buyers or sellers or renters can sign up for. Maybe it's that you want to set up a Calendly or Acuity, some type of scheduler app, and you want people to be able to book an appointment with you directly from your Facebook page. And that's what you're pushing. That's your goal, right? Or maybe you want to send them to your website because you have some type of landing page or squeeze page or some type of IDX situation going on where you can capture lead information, right? So you want to put a learn more button, right? Or maybe there's an app, right? Some of us have access to our own real estate app connected to our IDX, and maybe you want to send them to download the app with your own personal link, right? Whatever the case may be, you just want to make sure that you understand what your goal is. Very similar to how we create a goal, usually at the beginning of the year, you know, how much production we want to have for the year and all that stuff. You want to be specific about what your goal is with your Facebook business page. Is it simply to build community and you just want to have a social presence on Facebook so when people look you up, they see it, right? Is it that you purely want to lead generate at the very top of the funnel, right? If what I'm saying there isn't quite, you know, clicking in the head, we do have a training for that. It's squeeze page training and real estate funnels training, which I can tell you where those links are if anyone wants to know. Now, you want to make sure that you're specific about what it is that you're looking to accomplish with Facebook, right? Is it just that you want to have like be the real estate agent in the area with the most likes, right? You've got to figure out what it is that you're looking to do and then make your CTA based on that. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what a CTA is, it's just a call to action. It's the next step, right? And if you're not utilizing CTAs in your business, you need to fix that. You need to get on board with CTAs. Anyone who registered for this webinar, you followed a CTA. It says sign up in the link in my bio, or you got an e-blast that told you to register now, right? There was a link. That's a CTA. It's a call to action. If you're not using it, you might as well not bother with any of the other branding, marketing, advertising efforts that you've been thinking about doing or are currently doing if you're not using calls to action, right? So let's talk about something fun. So for those of you who don't actually have a Facebook business page yet, this is great for you, especially if you have Facebook friends, right? Like you already have a private, like personal profile. You've got lots of friends on Facebook, but you haven't gone ahead and pulled the trigger on making a Facebook business page. You can actually go to this web address. So facebook.com/pages/create/migrate, right? And what that's going to pull up, actually, let's pull it up here. What that's going to pull up is it's going to prompt you with instructions on how to, I'm logged into Alex's Facebook, but it's going to prompt you to get started with taking your personal profile and making it a Facebook business page, right? So this means that every person who is on your Facebook friends list currently, right? Let's say you have 600 Facebook friends. Some people have more, some people have less. Let's say you have 600. You go to that link and you migrate, right? It's not going to get rid of your personal profile. What it's going to do is it's going to create a Facebook business page based on your personal profile, which means every one of your friends is going to automatically like, right? They don't decide, they'll automatically will have liked your new business page. And you get to name it what you like and all that jazz. It doesn't mess up anything in your personal profile, right? It's completely separate. It just creates the page from the profile, right? Now, wouldn't that like be easier to kind of hit the ground running as opposed to the traditional sense where like you make a Facebook business page for the very first time, nobody likes it, and you're kind of like doing all these posts on your personal page and maybe even messaging people saying, hey, please like my Facebook business page, please like my Facebook business page, right? Does anyone agree that that might be a slightly easier way to start? Let me know in the comments if you agree. Has anyone tried this, right? Everyone agree? Okay, good. All right. So we have people agreeing. Awesome. So this is a really great way to just hit the ground running. You already have people who like your business page. You don't have to chase people down, right? And if you want to go a step further, you can actually contact your Facebook friends, right? Especially like the people that you're very close with. And you can ask them just a friendly request. Hey, I'm a business owner. I'm looking to grow my social presence, and it would mean the world to me if you would visit my Facebook business page and hit the invite button and just invite all of your friends to like my page. You would be surprised the wonders that could actually do for growing your Facebook business page. And this means that your current sphere of influence on your personal page is now doing the work for you, right? So graciously, they're doing the work for you to then grow your Facebook business page, which means that people you might not even know anything about might wind up liking your page and could potentially wind up seeing your content, the content in which you have strategically positioned yourself as the go-to real estate agent in your area, right? That could be powerful if you just put in that little bit of work. So I think we have a couple of questions, comments. So someone asked, yes, but what if you've already joined? So based on that question, I believe Jen, yes. So Jen, could you elaborate on your question, what if you already joined? I think you mean, what if you already have a Facebook business page? I'm not entirely sure, so let me know. So let's see, Edward asks, can you do that still even if you already made a business page? So the answer is yes. But what you would have to do is you're gonna forfeit the previous page, right? And I see that Jen replied, yes, made a business page. So to answer both Jen and Edward's question, if you already have a business page, you have to ask yourself a question. Is it performing the way that I would like it to perform? Am I okay forfeiting this page in exchange for creating a brand new page, but that all of my Facebook friends already like it? You just got to ask yourself that question. I know that you probably put work into creating the page the first time around, right? But sometimes we got to take a step back to take a step forward. So just ask yourself that question and consider if it's worth it. For some people, it might be. For others, it wouldn't. But definitely take advantage of the strategy where you ask your friends, especially the close ones, hey, can you invite your other friends to like my business page? Let me see. Another question from Sue. Where do you find this CD? Oh, link. Oh, okay. So the link is actually just this. You can write it down or take a picture with your phone. It's facebook.com/pages/create/migrate. All right. So you just want to visit that area while you're logged into your Facebook account, and you just visit that link, and then you're going to follow the prompts, and that will allow you to get it started. So let's see. Another question. Someone said, heck yes. Okay, love it. So Krista says, what are your thoughts on having other agents like your page? I actually think that there's nothing wrong with having other agents like your page. But I am very like a big believer in that there's enough business to go around. I actually like one time late at night, I did the math on like how many houses sell per year, how many actual licensed real estate agents there are. And the math worked out to about 4 or 5 home sales per agent if every single licensed agent were to sell, like actually be putting in work, right? There's only enough houses on average for 4 to 5 sales per year. That's never going to happen. Like everybody who has a license doesn't practice real estate, and everybody who has a license doesn't number 2 actually like put in the full effort, right? So no matter what, the numbers are going to work in your favor if you're putting the work in, right? Statistically. So that being said, in my eyes, there's enough business to go around. I don't mind when other real estate agents follow any of our business pages and chime in and participate and things like that. I just wouldn't go, around sharing other agents' IDX pages or websites and stuff like that, for obvious reasons. So that answers that question. If anyone else has any questions, let me know in the chat area. So the migration is very, very simple. Facebook walks you through it, and it's a great way to just really hit the ground running. Now, I do want to remind everyone of something, right? I have a question for everyone in this Zoom room right now. And that question is, do you know anything about anything? Now, I mean that question, like, as a real estate agent, can you put in the chat, yes, if you actually know even just one thing about anything regarding real estate, whether you've closed a deal or not? Okay. All right, I was hoping that was the answer. Good. We're getting yes. Someone said, I hope so. Good. So it might seem like a redundant question, but there's this sort of energy that real estate agents have when it comes to posting content on social media. And I think it stems from 2 different things. One of those things is that a lot of us follow other real estate agents. We're friends with a lot of them. We follow them on social media, especially the ones who are doing things that we would like to be doing, right? You look up to them, right? Or you have a lot of friends, people you've done deals with. You follow other agents. So you're seeing what they're doing, right? And because they're doing it, right? Like even now with this whole COVID-19 thing, a lot of real estate agents took to Instagram and Facebook and they're going live. They're going live and they're going live all the time. And so that's made some other real estate agents who are just, getting their feet wet in the social media world feel like, oh, everybody's going live. I don't want to be like everybody, right? But the truth is that you follow a lot of real estate agents. That does not mean that the average buyer and seller in the area that you farm in follows just as many real estate agents as you do, right? So you want to keep that in mind when you're trying to decide like, okay, what's my social media content marketing strategy? And it's that most people are only following 1, maybe 2 real estate agents, or they have a family friend that they're friends with who's a real estate agent. But like, the odds are in your favor that you probably will do more than they would just being in this class, right? You're taking that step to learn. So keep that in mind. Now, I asked you that question about whether you know something about anything, right? Because you're full of information. Even someone who just walks out of the 75-hour class, right? It's 45 in other states, but the 75-hour class in New York, right? Even if you're fresh out of that class, you know something about something when it comes to real estate, which means that you can regurgitate it, right? You don't have to be an expert at every single real estate concept, idea, strategy, negotiation tactic, all of it. You don't have to have closed 100 deals per year for the past 5 years to be able to put content out there that's actually helpful and educational. You just got to know something about something regarding real estate and share what you know. Share it confidently, the same way that you would in a conversation in person with a buyer or seller if you have the opportunity to possibly work with them, right? Have that confidence. Do that when it comes to your content, right? Take that little extra step, right? Share your journey, okay? Because you know something about something. So that means that you can talk about it. You can teach it, all right? So let's talk about something else that we can do in order to actually grow our Facebook business page. And not only that, use our Facebook business page to actually generate business, right? Because it's all fine and dandy to have a bunch of likes on your business page, but if it's not getting you new business, what fun is that, right? We want to have some real fun in here. We want to get clients. We want to get customers. So you can do this through cross marketing. So remember a little earlier, we talked about these six things that you can recycle, right? And these are great. But this education portion, that can be a little difficult, right? We just talked about how you know something about something, so you should be able to educate people on something when it comes to real estate, right? And, you know, share your journey. But what about like if you run out of things to talk about? It could happen, right? Really not if you think hard enough and make a list. But, you know, if you ever feel that way, you can do this. You can go live with fellow professionals. And as real estate agents, if you look at this list here, lender, title, attorney, credit pro, interior designer, inspector, contractor, investor, team member, financial advisor, and there's probably more than I have on this list. Most of us, correct me if I'm wrong, unless you're like brand spanking new, most of us know multiple people from each of those sectors of the industry, right? Like, I know more mortgage professionals than I have fingers and toes. Like, so many. Inspectors galore, attorneys galore, right? And going live with them does not mean that you have to exclusively work with them, right? You're just having a moment together to cross market, right? So you go live with them, and whoever's in their audience is going to see that you went live with them, and whoever's in your audience is going to see that you went live with them, right? But it crosses over, and they're going to get notification. They might see the content, right? And obviously you want to be strategic with these lives, right? You want to make sure that you put a call to action. You put that in there, okay? The sheer amount of content that I see real estate agents put out there, especially when it comes to like the education portion and the actual like services and products posts, right? Just put a CTA, okay? Please. It really works. Don't be afraid. Ask and you shall receive. So these lives, right? And I invite you to take a picture of this if you'd like. These lives are very, very easy. They don't even have to last longer than 10 minutes. You could even start off so short as 5 minutes, because honestly, how many of us have watched a YouTube video where it's 5 minutes long and it's kind of like, ooh, that was a long video, right? It's got 5 minutes to dedicate to that, right? Sometimes things are so engaging that they could be a whole hour long, and other times 5 minutes is more than enough to teach something or talk about a topic, right? So you contact the lender and you can recycle this, right? If you do it once per week, 4 lives per month, right? Even just 5 minutes to start while you get comfy and warm up to being on the camera kind of thing, right? And if you're nervous about being on the camera, you can go the Zoom route, and you see how like I'm sharing my screen and I'm just a teeny tiny little box, right? Or I could be all up in your face, right? You get to choose. You can start off with you know, screen sharing and things like that. Warm up into it. Okay, so if you do this, right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, 10. That's 10 weeks of live videos. How many of us in here think that if you went live every week for 10 weeks where you shared education, don't you think that you would generate some new business? Don't you think that there will be people messaging you with their real estate questions? Because you've literally positioned yourself hard that you are the person who knows things about real estate that people should come to and ask for help, right? So that's 10 weeks. And because you know multiples of each of these industries, right, multiple professionals within each sector, you can absolutely make this go on for months, a year, and you can schedule it out in advance, right? And this is going to grow your likes on the Facebook business page. But more importantly, especially if you're using CTAs, right? So you go live, but you put in the description that, you know, if they would like to, if they're interested in viewing homes for sale, right? Because you're sharing education, so it's not a big deal to ask for something in return, right? if you want this free first-time home buyer ebook, or you want to search homes for sale, right? You send them to a link on your website where they can, it's going to request their name, email, phone number, but give them a list of the newest properties on the market, right? This can be powerful, and it's recyclable, and it's easy. And when you do these live videos, it now gives you e-blast content, right? But that's a training for another day. So let's talk about one more strategy, right? Before we wrap this bad boy up. Is everybody enjoying this training? Everybody's still here who was here in the beginning. That's always a good sign. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, okay, awesome. So everybody's, yes, good. So let's go into the last thing, right? And the last thing is extracting your sphere of influence, right, into your database. So for some of us, this might be your situation, right? We have some people in the room who don't have a Facebook business page, and that's okay. We have some people in the room who have a Facebook business page, and maybe you've got tons of likes and you're just trying to figure out how to convert those people into, customers and clients, right? And the way that you would do that is through content, right? You can have a lot of people, but just up your content game. That's the strategy. And throw CTAs in there. Follow the 70-20-10 rule, right? If you do that, you will see stuff happen for you. Good stuff, money-making stuff, okay? But what about the people in this room or watching this possibly another time? What about the real estate agents in here who maybe you have a Facebook business page, but you've been struggling to get the likes, and you post things and just nothing happens? Nobody's liking anything. No one's commenting on anything. You're looking at the little orange yellow bar and it's like 3 people saw this. No one engaged, right? You start to feel bad because you're like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Like, is it not interesting enough? Am I not doing the right content? Is it how I look in the picture, right? And there's a way around this, right? And what I'm about to share with you isn't necessarily a way around it in the sense that it'll increase your engagement, right? The only way to increase your engagement is to, 1, engage with other people, and 2, to actually follow the 70-20-10 rule and put content out there that's educational, entertaining, and helpful, and that people will engage with. And then you put CTAs, and then you get clients and buyers, and customers, right? But the other option is to go into your Facebook friends list and extract your sphere of influence. Take them out of Facebook, put them into a CRM, okay? Now, how do you do this? Right now, you can click on the settings button of your Facebook profile, right? And from there, you're going to, on the left-hand corner, you're gonna hit your Facebook information, right? And it's gonna open up this window that you see right here. And the second option is download your information. You're gonna hit that view button. And then from there, it's gonna open this area, the download your information area, and you're gonna deselect all the options, right? And when you scroll through the page, you're gonna see a bunch of different options to download your photos and your posts and stuff like that, but that's not what the focus is here. The focus is extracting your sphere of influence from Facebook and putting them into a database, like a CRM, right? Because they're gonna tell you what you do after. Now, you're gonna select friends, right? In this list, when you scroll, there'll be an option for friends. You just put the check mark on there in the box and then hit create file. After you hit create file, it's gonna take, it can take anywhere from 2 minutes to upwards of half an hour, even 45 minutes, depending on how many people you have in your friends list, right? And what you're gonna do is when it's ready, you'll get a notification just like you do when someone likes or comments on a post. It's just a regular notification. And then when you go, it's gonna look like this, right? When you get that notification that it's ready, and you'll hit the download button. And this is gonna open up a zip file, right? It'll download a zip file to your computer. You'll open up that zip file just like you would any other. And you're gonna see different files. One of those files will be friend requests, right? And another file will be your friends. What you're gonna do is take that file and put it into a spreadsheet, right? And depending on what CRM you have, right? Some people, I'm with eXp Realty, I have KV Core. It's an amazing tool, right? Freaking blew my mind when I got access to it. But you might be with KW and you have Command. Or you might be with Douglas Elliman and they have an option as well. Or you might pay for Pipedrive or Top Producer, iExact Contact, Lion's Desk, right? There's so many CRM options out there. Whatever it is that you have, all of those CRMs have a specific format to import CSV files. So like Excel spreadsheets, right? They're either .excel whatever it is or .csv. We've probably all seen this before. Now, you take that and you put that in there. If this is something that like this whole like Excel spreadsheet part has kind of like surpassed maybe your potential skill set right now, like tech savvy wise, I'm pretty sure you know somebody out there who can help walk you through how to do it on your computer, whether it's a cousin, a friend, a coworker, sister, brother, your kid, a niece, nephew, somebody knows something about spreadsheets who can help you take this list that Facebook has given you and put it into your CRM. And the reason that you want to put it into your CRM, right, especially if you're having trouble getting people to kind of pay attention to you on social, is that this is the next step, right? You should do this anyway, but it's the next step. It's the next option. So what you do is you put that in your CRM and then you go through and you call everybody. You mass text them if need be, and you send a weekly email to them, right? Whatever content you wanted to put out there on your Facebook business page, right? You can go ahead and just send it out in an e-blast, right? Blog posts, videos, lives, just all types of things. Inspiring quotes, you can even email that, right? Put it all together in an email. We have a training for that too, if you're interested, at designforrealtors.com, right? How to put an e-blast together. And you put that together and you send it on a weekly basis, right? So some type of content is getting to them. And then you take it a step further by calling through that list, checking in. How are they doing, right? Take a quick look at their Facebook page and see, did they just have a baby? Did they just get engaged? Did they just, have they mentioned that they're packing or that they got a new job or they're relocating or something, right? Congratulate them or ask them if they need help or if they know anyone who's looking to buy or sell, right? That's how you take Facebook out of Facebook and you put it into your CRM and then you work on it diligently. Has anyone done this before? Does this sound like something that would be like a cool project? Especially like a lot of us are home right now, not by choice. Well, kind of by choice, it depends on your stance. But you do that and who knows what you could like, sphere of influence is powerful when it comes to generating business for your real estate business. And it's just a simple thing that's available to you for free, right? And if you don't have a CRM, no judgment. You should, right? Get it eventually, even if it's a free one. HubSpot has a great free one, right? But you can take that and just use it as a spreadsheet in general, and just make like a little check mark next to each person as you call through the list on the spreadsheet. Sounds old-fashioned, but you don't have a CRM yet, so you start there, right? Options. And you can go so far as to invite them to like your Facebook business page and take it from there, right? So Alana says, I had no idea you could do that. Amanda says, that's a great idea. Amanda, I love your name. Deanna says, just blew my mind. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're having quite a few people who this is something new. Someone says, Alana says, I tried to extract on LinkedIn and a lot of people hide their emails. Is this the same for Facebook? So you will find that some people inside of the list that you get maybe don't have emails and they don't have phone numbers, or they could potentially be outdated. But here's the thing, because they're your Facebook friend, for whoever it is that's missing their information, right, you can fill in the holes. You simply send them a message saying, hey, I'm growing my list. I promise to never spam you, but would you mind giving me your email address, right, or your phone number, just so I can have it up to date. Right? I'd love to update you on stuff, right? The same way that you would call through, Geo Leads and stuff like that. Very simple request, right? If they don't want to give you their email, no biggie. Don't take offense. People, if you're not a business owner, you don't get it all the time. So don't be offended if someone doesn't want to give you their email. Don't go unfriend them. But it's okay to ask for it, right? It's not an offensive thing for you to ask for it. Now, the other option, especially for those of you who maybe have like a larger list, is to use a tool that would actually go out and find their information. So like, for example, with eXp Realty and KV Core, we actually have the option to connect like any information like for a person with like first name and email address, or first name, phone number, or even just first name. It'll scour the internet to find their information, whether it be social profiles, websites, emails, or other potential phone numbers, which is super cool. But there are some other CRMs that offer that as well, which is the option. And then there's also doing something called skip tracing. A lot of real estate investors use skip tracing tools. So you could actually get their information that way. That's another option. It does cost money to skip trace, unless you have a fellow realtor who's like an investor who doesn't mind letting you use the tool, right? Or you just want to kind of like pay to like use it once and be done with it. But that's also a great tool. I hope that that answers the question. Okay, does anyone have any questions about the stuff that we went over? And just a reminder, this is provided to you by Design for Realtors, designforrealtors.com, where we actually have lots of trainings that are available for replay. And this one in particular is being recorded now. All things going good technologically and all that. We'll have the replay available. But there are a lot of trainings here. You would just go to the education area. We have the 200K success formula, hard money lending 101. If you are a real estate agent and you potentially work with investors or would like to work with investors, this is a great 1-hour training from someone who is a very experienced hard money lender. And he also teaches you how to make money as a real estate agent on top of your commission. So that's a great training. We have info to Facebook ads, squeeze page strategies, how to generate leads on Instagram. There's also a branding one, lots of great trainings. So any questions? Let's see. Someone said I had no idea you could do that. And then Alana asked, I tried to, oh wait, there was a follow-up question here. So hold on, let me just read this. Okay, thanks. This was helpful. My Facebook has low engagement, so I can bump it up. Now, are you doing a training for LinkedIn soon? So LinkedIn is not on the list of the trainings that we're doing from today through March 19th. We do have trainings that are going on like every day except for Tuesdays and weekends. LinkedIn isn't on there, but that's a great recommendation. I can definitely add LinkedIn to the list, and we can get that done. Any other questions? Does anyone have anything like specific that's been like a pain point for you with Facebook or Facebook business page? Anything that has like you've struggled with, or an idea that maybe that you've had that you weren't sure if it's worth actually like trying to execute on, kind of thing? Yes, LinkedIn is definitely a much more serious demographic than Facebook and Instagram. And honestly, if you're a real estate agent and you're not on LinkedIn, you are missing out. Like it's good on LinkedIn. And it's all organic, and it operates very differently than Facebook and Instagram. And the people on there are very, very professional. Similar rules apply content-wise on LinkedIn, but definitely a great place to be, especially if you're a real estate professional. So any questions? Any questions? Going once, going twice. I always feel like when there's lots of questions, I'm like, ooh, did I do a good job? But then if there are like no questions at all, I'm like, did I cover everything there was to cover and everyone understood? Or like, I don't know. But you're all still here, so thank you. Awesome. So we've got a lot of people saying thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all being here. So we do have other trainings going on. I'm not sure if you all have registered, but tomorrow Alex is going to be covering how to navigate your real estate business budget, which is a big one. If you have like, especially if you are newer in real estate, or maybe you've been around for a bit but you've always struggled to kind of like figure out how much should go towards your marketing, how much should go towards education, how much should I save for taxes, how much should I save for a rainy day, like kind of thing, like how should I split up my commission check and all that stuff. He's going to break it all down and it's going to be awesome. And then on Friday, I'm covering the $0 marketing plan. So I'm literally going to cover everything that a real estate agent could do to generate new business without spending any money, because that's what I like to do. I also love running Facebook ads, but you know, sometimes we got to start with no money. So someone says, I have access to KV Core. Should I use that to build my page? Yes, KV Core is an amazing tool. I know that you can push listings to your personal page, right? But that would just be to your personal page. And even for your personal page, you could follow the 70-20-10 principle as well. But what you want to do is use KV Core more so as a CRM, and use KV Core's landing pages and squeeze pages in order to generate more business on social media, whether it's through Instagram or Facebook. If you are interested in learning about how to specifically use KV Core, like actual like KV Core, how to use it to utilize the squeeze pages area in order to generate more business, definitely go to designforrealtors.com and watch the squeeze page strategies training. It's an hour long, but we covered everything that you can do to start generating business like today using KV Core squeeze pages. Let me see. Someone says, thank you, appreciate you taking the time to do so. Hope it gets repaid back to you tenfold. Honestly, you all being here is payment. And like the biggest payment would be to actually see you all on social doing the things that we talk about in these trainings, and seeing your businesses grow. I know for a lot of you, you do keep in touch with me and Alex and Design for Realtors and our team on social media through direct messages and comments. And it's really awesome to see all of you sort of take what we've taught and really bring it to life. So that is like, that's heartwarming. Obviously, when someone buys a t-shirt or a hat or a hoodie or a planner, that's always fun too, and we get excited with each and every order. But it's enough that you just implement it, because we're genuinely passionate about helping you all. So it means a lot that you guys spend the time with us to learn all of this. So let me get out of here, man. I gotta drink my juice, and it's Wednesday and I have like 3 other Zoom things. Like I feel like we're all living on Zoom nowadays. So I hope that you all, I wish it really hard that you all get lots and lots and lots of accepted offers, new happy clients, and tons of closings. Okay, I really hope it. So thank you all. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, that you're all staying safe and just taking strides in your business to take it to the next level, because you can. All right. So, oh wait, I think we have one more question. Does everyone feel like they are living on Zoom? Oh yeah. It's definitely, we've been living on Zoom. All right, so thank you all so much. That's all for today. Definitely. Also, Design for Realtors during the time of this live webinar is having a 20% discount sale. So let's go here. If you put the code SPRING20, I just put it in the chat. If you go to designforrealtors.com and type in the code SPRING20, that will give you 20% off of your entire purchase. Thank you. So bye, everyone.